What if you don't need to live in pain and suffering? What if you could give up your karma and have a life of abundance and joy? What if you could start creating magic and miracles that you never thought were possible? Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is you. Now, here's the host of Creating Abundance with Ease radio show, Dr. Helen Gitlevich.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is You Are Not Wrong. Wow. How many times have you judged yourself wrong? And every time you're judging yourself wrong, you're actually not right. You're wrong. What if there are no mistakes? What if you are never wrong? So let's play with the energies of right and wrong according to Access Consciousness, according to Akashic Records, according to a lot of other spiritual modalities that are out there. Because magic is everywhere and abundance is everywhere. But we're limiting ourselves so much that it's not even funny anymore. Because how many of you have judged yourself that you're wrong and so you don't deserve a lot of abundance? And it's kind of like insidious. It's not necessarily cognitive. A lot of our limitations, our blocks, are sitting in our subconscious. It's almost like that iceberg. If you think of our brain, and the scientists tell us that we have only 5% that we're using. So literally, 5% of our brain is on the surface, and the rest of the brain is in the subconscious, unconscious, automatic response. And with all of that, that's like that huge iceberg that we constantly, like our ship of life, is constantly hitting and creating the holes, and we're sinking, or at least we feel like we're sinking. There were quite a few times when I felt like I was sinking. That ship sailed long time ago. There are so many of those metaphors that comes when we are talking about our life, because our life is like a ship and our brain is that computer, but it's also that iceberg that keeps us stuck. So let's talk about one idea that our brain is hiding inside, that we are wrong. And what if it is a lie? And I'm going to use Access Consciousness tools, the clearing statement, and you can look up the clearing statement on the website, theclearingstatement.com. And it's a weird expression, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And you don't have to remember the whole thing. It's pretty much just remember POC and POD. As Dr. Dane Hare says, that it's ninjas of consciousness, POC and POD. So it's point of creation, point of destruction. Basically, everything in life, everything in the universe has a point of creation, right? So something was created. It could be 2 seconds ago, can be a million years ago. Everything has a point of creation. And we're going back in time all the way to the point of creation of the idea, of the point of view, something that we've created in our life that doesn't work. And usually those are lies. You cannot destroy truth. You cannot destroy what's true and real, because that's light. The only thing we can destroy is heaviness. So with all of that, we're going back to point of creation of a lie and destroying it. but we're also destroying the point of destruction, because immediately preceding the point of creation, we have a point of destruction. And who or what we're destroying with that point of destruction? Us. Literally us. Every point of view we take that's not true for us, every lie, every judgment we have about ourselves pretty much destroys our life, destroys our body, destroys our relationship, and also destroys us. Because we are our life, our being, we all of it, and yet we are not all of it. We're an infinite being that's been around for trillions of years, probably infinite amount of years before and infinite amount of years in the future. So knowing that we're infinite being, knowing who we are, maybe gives us a glimpse at the iceberg. Because if we lived for trillions of years, we pretty much created trillions in a trillion exponentialized points of view that limit us. Think about of that pile of poo that we created over the years, over millennia. And by the way, time is not real, so it might have been compressed or expanded. Who cares? Let's have our point of view just destroy and create all of that. What if the points of view that you have, all the lies, especially that you're wrong, are the ones that limiting you right now and not allowing you to choose something greater, something that you're capable of. But because you already judged yourself that you're incapable, judged yourself as wrong, somewhere in the subconscious, it might have related to 500 years ago, you stole a piece of bread because you were hungry and you were killed for it. You've decided that you're wrong at the core, or you've been told you're wrong at the core. Are you willing to destroy and uncreate all of it right now? And yes, you can choose to do that. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How much lighter are you feeling right now that we destroyed one point of view? Just one. What if we start destroying all of those points of view that limit you? All those lies, everywhere where you decided that you're wrong. What if you let go of all of them right now? What if it's just a choice? I wonder how much your life would be different if you chose to create from the being, from the infinite being, from the infinite space, instead of the wrongness of you. Just for a second, let go of all the points of view you have, just for 1 second, and just let's look at the space that you could be in. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds, and let's expand. Some of you who've been listening to my show before, or to my classes, been in my classes, let's do that wonderful expansion exercise, maybe with a little twist of shifting some molecules, talking to the molecules, and just allow your barriers to drop right now. All of them, all of them, all of them, all of them, all of them. Barriers down, barriers down, barriers down. You can close your eyes or you can keep them open and allow yourself just to notice where you are, the environment you're in. Just be present with that. You don't have to expand yet. Don't expand. Tell somebody not to do something, they're already doing it. That was a trick. So, did you notice that you already expanded as soon as you drop your barriers? Yeah. So, what if you don't have to cognitively expand? What if you can just be? What if it is normal space for you? And just for the sake of it, just expand a mile or a kilometer, 10 miles, 10 kilometers. But it's actually 16 kilometers. Yeah. I used to be very good at math, but ever since programming class that Gary and Dane did a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, a few years ago, I'm not sure. Time is like so weird right now, especially with COVID. My math skills has been kind of like deteriorating because I no longer have to calculate and compute my decisions and judgments. And it's not good or bad, and I'm not making myself wrong for that, but it's just time is not real. So why do we have to compute it? So a lot of things that shouldn't be computed no longer relevant. So expand 1,000 kilometers or miles, 10,000 kilometers and 10,000 miles, depending where you live. Here in Europe, everywhere in the world, pretty much except England and United States, just expand according to the system, metric system or mile system, and go to infinity. That's you. And you've been contracting yourself into your body as that's the only space available? For what reason? Not the brightest moment, but that's not wrong. That's again not a wrongness, it's just a choice. What if there is no wrong? There is no right, there is no wrong, there is no good or bad. There are just choices. Some of them create for us, some of those choices create against us. What if it's just a choice? How much easier our life would be if you chose not to judge you? Yes, and it's time for our first break of the show. You've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on the Inspired Choices Network. And when we return, we'll continue discussing right and wrong, good and bad. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is You Are Not Wrong. And right before we went on a break, we were talking about expansion. And when we expand, let's do it again, because some of you joining us now and some of you kind of like maybe contracted a little bit. So we were talking about when we expand, we're infinite beings. So let's drop our barriers again and expand. No matter what's going on in your life, you can close your eyes. You don't have to close your eyes. If you're watching it, you don't have to. If you're driving, please do not close your eyes. When you're operating heavy machinery, do not close your eyes. You can do it with eyes open, closed, doesn't matter. Just drop your barriers and expand. Expand to the size of the room you're in, to the size of the town you're in, and maybe to the country, and then keep expanding until you're as big as Earth. Yep, you heard me correctly. The size of this planet. Yeah, it's so easy. How much lighter do you feel when you expand to the size of the planet? What if you're bigger than the planet? And let's expand even more to the size of the solar system, to the size of the universe, and keep going, keep going, keep going to the infinity. And now let's play with the molecules of the universe. Find one molecule that you're ready to flip and change, and let's see how that changes your life. Just pick one molecule, just one, out of the whole universe. Found one? Don't tell me that there are not one molecule in the universe that you're ready to change. I'm not talking about changing the whole life, just taking one single molecule. In your body, in your life, you don't have to change the whole body, just one single molecule. Or maybe just one atom. Okay, molecule is good. I heard you. So let's flip it. And let's expand that light throughout the whole universe. And now let's find another molecule. Just one. And flip it. Yep, like this. You know it. And you've judged yourself wrong. And by the way, you cannot do it wrong. Just flip it and expand. Flip and expand. Flip and expand. I don't know about you, but I feel better. I feel lighter. And all you need to do is just find one molecule somewhere. And what if that's how you change the whole world, one molecule at a time? Just saying, just one molecule. And back to our topic. Maybe not back. Let's go forward. You know how we always say, I'm coming back home? What if we are actually always go forward? Because we cannot go back. And by the way, that's not wrong either. This is just a choice. And every time we go forward, what if we choose something different? What if we choose not to judge ourselves and just be in that space of total allowance, especially for ourselves? You'll ask, wait a second, allowance for ourselves, what is that? Because if I don't judge myself, I will not improve. Is that actually true, or is it another lie that we've been told? That's a lie. What if we don't have to improve? What if we don't have to make ourselves better? What if all those self-improvements are actually lies? What if all we need to do is drop and let go of our judgments of ourselves, other people, and drop our points of view that we're wrong? What if that what makes us kind of like create the shit in our lives? Because our points of view create our reality, not the other way around. Every time when we have a lie, every time when we have a point of view, every time when we decide that we are wrong, we are closing the possibilities of creating something different. Because think of it, every judgment you have creates a barrier, a lens through which we look at the world. Let's say we're judging ourselves that we cannot paint. But is that true? Everybody can paint. You can take a paintbrush and just paint. Doesn't mean it will be Gioconda or like Mona Lisa. It doesn't mean you will create something that the world judges as the masterpiece, or it might be. Because believe me, when the greatest artists painted their art, including Van Gogh, including a lot of other, they were judged as it was wrong, it was bad, it was ugly. And yet, 200 years later, or 150 years later, actually, sorry, again, math. 150 years later, we look at that as something that is great and never existed before. So what if your life, and yes, we have a comment in our chat, they painted anyway, exactly. Because in my life, I was judged that I don't have a talent when I was a kid. Well, I wasn't judged that I didn't have the talent. I was just told that my friend has a talent and she should take the classes and I shouldn't. It was implied. But as a child, I learned early that, okay, so this girl has talent. I don't, so I should not even touch the paintbrush. Even that in the art classes, I was getting praised. But at home, not so much. Because my mom was friends with art critics and she was friends with artists and so on and so forth. So she judged an 8-year-old or 10-year-old paintings to the masterpieces. Wow, I just realized something. Thank you for letting me talk on this show because I'm getting tears because I just got realization how often our parents actually compare us to the, like when we were growing up, compare us to the masterpieces or to the standards that the child cannot even come close to. And you picked up that you were wrong, or I picked up as I was wrong. And that was not how it's supposed to be. A child should be a child and grow up in the happiness and joy. And yet, when parents compare the work or even the homeworks of a child to the art pieces, to the art galleries, to something that they saw as adults, and they think that unless the child paints as Van Gogh or Manet or Da Vinci, they don't have talent. But that's actually can be developed. And that not only about painting. This goes much more than that. That goes about anything we do in life, our homework, our art, music, sports, doesn't matter unless we are at the level of something that the parent decided has to be the perfection. And it's not cognitive, guys. Seriously, it has nothing to do with the cognitive brain. This being impelled on the parents and every generation been exposed to the same thing, there is a certain echelon or of what is considered perfection. And a lot of parents are perfectionists. So they impose that on the kids, and the perfection never can be achieved. And if it's not achieved, then we judge ourselves wrong, they judge us wrong, and we grow up with all those lies that keeps us stuck in the idea that we cannot. Because as an adult, I chose not to follow that judgment and took art classes, and I loved it. So it might not be perfection, but some of them are actually not too bad. And one of my art teachers said, you should have studied since you were like 6 years old or 7 years old. And I'm like, yeah, didn't happen. And again, it's not my mom's fault. It's my choice. I chose my parents and I chose that point of view. So that point of view created my reality. At 10-year-old, I didn't have to buy that point of view. And yet I did. Because as an infinite being, we know much more. But that was a choice that we made. And I'm going to leave you hanging right now because it's time for our second break of the show. And when we return, we'll talk more about how we can choose different points of view and how we are not wrong about choosing the wrong points of view. So we'll be right back. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Magic and abundance are everywhere. What if you could tap into abundance and start creating your life with complete and total ease? Working with Dr. Helen Gitlevich will give you exactly that, total ease in creating abundance in your life. Dr. Gitlevich creates classes all over the world, both in person and online. She works with you to create abundance with your money, with your body, with your relationships, with all areas of your life with total ease. Connect with Dr. Helen Gitlevich at creatingabundancewithease.com. Her contribution in your world will be a noticeable gift in a very short period of time. This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is You Are Not Wrong. And I know I let you hanging right before the break, and we were talking about our childhood and how we actually chose the points of view. We chose to buy the points of view of our parents. With all of that, it's like our point of view creates our reality, as we know. And what if it's not a wrongness again? What if it is just a choice to play in this reality? I will say it again. What if it is just a choice to choose some limitations so we can play in this reality and fit into this reality? Because as kids, when we grow up, the world is, for some kids, it's like being a Lilliput in a giant country. Like if you ever seen the movies or read the book Gulliver in his travels, he gets into the land of giants where he's tiny. So what if you're just playing the game? And that was not wrong at that time. It's not wrong now, and you are not wrong. What if you just start looking at what works for you? What works, what doesn't work? What if you're magical? And magic, as I said, is everywhere. We don't notice it as much, but when we judge ourselves wrong, especially when we do magic, miracles, you desire for something. As a kids, we used to do magic all the time. Like you want something and it shows up. Well, I'm not talking about hocus pocus, but I'm talking about like you wanted a new toy and your mom immediately went and bought it. You wanted to go someplace and your parents decided to go on vacation in that moment. And that was before you started making yourself wrong. What if you chose your ability to grow right now and just let go of your wrongness? Thank you. Puck and pod all the judgments you have about being wrong. And that's how you do it. Like, okay, puck and pod that. Return. And by the way, who does that belong to? That's another amazing tool of access. Because a lot of those judgments you have right now, they don't belong to you. All those things that you decided made you wrong, they're not. They don't even belong to you. A lot of it you picked out of other people's heads because you are telepath. All of us are telepath. All of us are like sponges for other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Huh. You don't believe me? Let's play the other game. Let's do who does that belong to 10 times. And just ask that. Just pick anything that's going on right now in your body, in your relationships, kind of like anything that's heavy right now. And if you don't have anything that's specific or any upset you have, if you don't have any, that's wonderful. You're not wrong for that. Yes, you're not wrong for not having a problem. And let's ask, who does that belong to? Okay, so what does that belong to? Or who does that belong to? Doesn't matter. So who does that belong to? And again, turn it a little bit and just ask, who does that belong to? You can use the same problem or something else, or no problem at all. Just ask, okay, who does that belong to? Just turn it a little bit more, and who does that belong to? And who does that belong to? And who does that belong to? Okay, who does this belong to? And who does this belong to? I'm feeling lighter. Whatever I was carrying was not mine. And that's that simple. Just choosing to create something different. Create something that lighter, because whatever is true feels light. Whatever is true is light. Whatever is a lie, always heavy and contracting. Yep. So take any lies again, and let's see who does that belong to. And who does this belong to? And who does this belong to? And who does this belong to? How do you feel? Lighter or heavier? And I don't mean your weight. And by the way, a lot of people who are overweight, guess what? What if that weight is all the lies, all the feelings that you materialize in your body? According to Gary Douglas, his idea of fat is being solidification of feelings. And feelings are notorious for being heavy and being lies. And you would say, what about joy and happiness? Those feelings, those are not feelings, by the way. Anything light are spaces of being. Those are extremely high vibrations, like joy, like happiness, like love, like gratitude, contentment, peace. They all extremely high vibrations. They're not feelings. They're not emotions. Because feelings and emotions have to have substance to them. Feelings are sadness, grief, fear, anger, shame, blame. Those are feelings. Happiness and joy are not feelings. And by the way, you're not wrong for not knowing it. What if you just don't have enough information about a lot of things, and that's when you're judging yourself? What if you just be that? What if you just be the space of being? Who are you being today? Is one of the questions we ask, because a lot of times we're not being ourselves. And that's when we judge ourselves wrong, because we're not even ourselves. How can we be right? And all that dog chasing our tail, pretty much, going in circles of judgments. And again, that's not the wrongness either. That was just another choice. Maybe not the brightest choice, maybe not the best choice for you, but you are not wrong for that. The choice is just a choice. Not good, not bad. Maybe that one was not working for you. What are you going to choose now? What if you can be just you? And what if, even if you don't know who you are and who you can be, what if you do know? What if that I don't know is another lie and another thing you judge yourself for being wrong? Let's just be for a second. And remember, like we started expanding and kind of like change the molecules? Let's do it again. I love doing it constantly. So what if you do that anytime when you contract, when somebody gets angry at you, when you get angry at yourself, when you get angry at somebody else, when you're having problems, when you are not feeling well? Let's play with health. Is there any part in your body that's hurting right now? If they're not, that's fine. Choose relationship or still choose the body and see if it can feel even better now. Again, expand like we did in the beginning of the show. Drop our barriers and expand, 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 expand. And let's look in our body and choose one molecule in the body. That, because we're the space between the molecules, so we can change any molecules we choose. So just one molecule. It doesn't have to be in the place where it's hurting, or it can be. And just flip it. Flip it. Flip another one, and flip another one, and flip another one. And how do you feel? I feel much, much better. I hit a little something in my back, and now it's like I can move more freely. And what if you're choosing that, choosing feeling better, choosing kind of joy and happiness? What if it is a contribution to our planet? I know we're doing a lot for the planet with recycling, composting. I actually started doing composting recently. I'm so proud of myself, and I'll destroy and uncreate that, pack and pot that. Right, wrong, beyond, pack, pot, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds, but it's such a gift. Wait, sorry. Yeah, a lot of people say when you sneeze, you're telling the truth. So I guess I am telling the truth. So I always thought of composting is something yucky and smelly and blah, blah, blah. But it's just like garbage. You have services that pick it up. And now I have somebody composting all the like food byproducts. And so my garbage is much less that goes into the landfill. What if that, the composting, what if our feelings and emotion and thought and all the judgments we have are actually compost for Earth? And it's time for our third and final break of the show. Time flies. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on the Inspired Choices Network. And when we return, we'll talk more about composting your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and how we can transform them into joy, ease, and lightness of this world. We'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. And I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is You Are Not Wrong. So we were, before we went on the break, we were talking about our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and they're not wrong. They're just thoughts, feelings, and emotion. They're just, some of them are lies, some of them are what we experienced, and some of not ours. Some of them are not even ours. So what if we can transform them from that heaviness into lightness of joy, ease? And what if it is Earth that can compose that? What if we can send it to the planet? Because for planet, a lot of times, if you send the energy, it can transform it. If we are actually using those energies of thoughts, feelings, and emotions like anger, shame, blame, and holding on to that and killing ourselves, killing our body is connected to Earth. So when we're killing our bodies, we're actually killing Earth. So it's much worse to have those emotions and hold on to them than actually to let go of them and just transform it, because Earth can transform just like it can transform garbage, like food scraps and things, and create a wonderful soil that can be used in agriculture. So what if our thoughts, feelings, and emotions can also be transformed into something different, but we have to let go of them? Because we cannot hold on to that and stuff it in the bags and put it in a landfill. What if we can let go of them? What if we can shift and change it just by asking questions? Like, who does that belong to? And return back to sender. And it's about being aware and not judging. So what if it is that simple? What if you could just remember those 4 words? Just 4 words. You are not wrong for anything. You can be mistaken, you can be not correct. All of that is possible, but you're not wrong. Because when you judge yourself wrong, you immediately go into like shutting down. What if you don't have to? And our show is coming to the end. We have only like a few minutes left. I think it's maybe 6 or 7 minutes. Just wanted to talk a little bit about our situation right now, where a lot of us are isolated because of the virus of the corona, and the world kind of like going into fear, and fear, that emotion that creates separation. And again, you're not wrong. The world can be wrong, but you're not wrong. You can choose whatever you're choosing. And a lot of classes are available online right now. Like I'm doing Creating Abundance with Ease introductory class, which is my specialty class, as well as a radio show in Dallas. It will be live in Dallas. And it also will be available on a Zoom It's only $10, so you can join us at that time. Also, I'm doing 2 body classes in the States because as of right now, not too many countries will take us to travel to those countries from US because of the coronavirus. So right now I'm doing 3-day body class in Dallas, starting actually this week. Um, it starts on October 30th to the 1st of November, and then in Miami, November 6th through the 8th. And those classes are not available online. I'm sorry, but they cannot be. Those classes are about unlocking what's stuck in your body, and it does involve touching the bodies. And there are prerequisites. You have to have bars class and foundation for both of those classes. And there are a lot of other shows, classes, webinars available online with me, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, and you can look me up on Creating Abundance with Ease website or find me on Facebook. Also with other facilitators. If you are in a country which is still closed according to COVID, you might be looking for other facilitators on accessconsciousness.com website. Meanwhile, or you can schedule private session and it's available online and live if you're in Chicago, or I'll be in Dallas and Miami. In Miami, I will be actually almost 2 weeks. I'm planning to enjoy our wonderful planet and ocean and beach, and you can join me there. What if you can create a life exactly as you desire? And what if your desire changes every day? And anything that doesn't allow that, are you willing to let go? Just say yes. Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys and men's. And what you can do meanwhile, just use some of the tools we talked about or all of the tools we talked about. Like, who does that belong to? And there is an app, which is a free app on Apple Store and Google Play, wherever like Android store is, and you can download it. It's called, wait for it, Who Does That Belong To? App, Access Consciousness. And it reminds you to ask that question. Also, I love our mantra, all of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. And I would love to do that at the end of our show. So let's do it 10 times. All of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. All of life comes to us with ease and joy and glory. And next week, I will be also doing, the radio show or podcast and now TV show is every week on Wednesdays, 11 o'clock Central Standard Time and 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And next show will be, what are you waiting for? Just saying, what if you don't have to wait? And join me somewhere, somehow around the world. And my last but not least recommendation, just allow yourself to be grateful instead of judging yourself as well.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. Dr. Helen Gitlevich will return next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have fun using the tools of the week in your life and start creating magic in your life and your body.